Joe Mixon had arguably the biggest midseason turnaround of any running back in the NFL in 2019. We know that Mixon is an incredibly talented player, but in a volatile Bengals offense, what is his fantasy football value for 2020? Let's break it down. A second-round pick out of Oklahoma in 2017, Mixon came into last season with incredibly high expectations after finishing as the RB1 in PPR formats for the 2018 fantasy football season. Let's look at how he finished up last season stat-wise. He was the running back 13 on the year in fantasy football, posting 278 carries for 1,137 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground, and he was able to add 35 receptions for 287 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. But the stats here do not tell the whole story. Through 7 weeks last season, Mixon looked like a bust, finishing as the running back 35 during that span and averaging only 8.9 PPR fantasy points per game. From week 8 onward, Mixon turned things around, finishing as the running back 6 during that span with 18.1 PPR fantasy points per game. So which version of Joe Mixon will we see in 2020? It's the second version, and there are a couple different reasons why. First things first, Mixon is an incredibly talented football player. Take a look at this run here. I would not want to be that guy trying to bring down Joe Mixon, and there are not many running backs in the league that have the power and speed combo that we have seen from Joe Mixon over his first several seasons in the league. On top of that, he's an adequate receiver and should see his fair share of targets in this Bengals offense. Next, I think it's safe to say that 2019 was a throwaway season for the Bengals. They had a 2-14 record, a quarterback carousel between Andy Dalton and Ryan Finley, and they did not have a ton to play for except for the number 1 overall pick. They were 26th in yards and 30th in points. So bring back AJ Green to this offense, give them that number 1 overall pick with Joe Burrow, and add another wide receiver weapon in T. Higgins, and it's safe to say that the offense is definitely going to improve from those statistics in 2020. A better offense will lead to more scoring opportunities for Joe Mixon, and he should be a safe bet to post his first double-digit touchdown season as a pro. Lastly, I think the biggest question mark on this team, and possibly the reason for a subpar 2019 season, is the offensive line. According to Football Outsiders, the Bengals' offensive line ranked 26th in run blocking for the 2019 season. This will inevitably improve in 2020 because most people forget that the Bengals actually redshirted their 2018 first-round pick, offensive tackle Jonah Williams out of Alabama. Williams is fully healthy and will slide right into a starting position. And the Bengals also signed another guard in free agency and selected a guard with a 6th-round pick in the NFL draft. So to me, every single piece of this offense will take a step forward in 2020, and that is why Joe Mixon is a top 10 running back for fantasy football in 2020 with top 5 running back upside. Drop a comment below with your take on Joe Mixon and hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Also, feel free to drop a comment below with any players you would like to see me break down next. And again, this is Alex from Double Move Sports, and we'll see you next time.